Want to learn how to do this? And this? Then keep watching. P-2 is one of the new levels in the most recent update and can be unlocked by completing P-1 and perfect ranking all of Act 2. The P-door location is in level 6-2. You can find it by sliding underneath this gap. Upon loading, select the rocket launcher. I suggest the new SRS cannon since we'll be using it in the first room. Use the rocket jump technique which I showcased in my guide, which you can find here. By this point, you should be charging the SRS cannon. Hop up the alleyway and turn left. Once inside the first room, be prepared for 4 Cerberus to spawn. Fire the cannonball at 1, then detonate it with the electric rail cannon. This is a new insta-kill I have developed specifically for this level, since there are many Cerberus to kill in awkward positions. Then, simply use any of the rocket launchers to lower the health of the Cerberus. Try to even out this damage between them, as once there are only 2 remaining, a ferryman will spawn. Once they are all low on health, indicated via the cracks in their bodies, kill them all. The ferryman will spawn alongside 2 virtues hidden outside the room. At this point, your rail cannon should be refilled. Use it in conjunction with 4 coins to deal good damage. This is one of the hardest rooms simply because there is no space to run, just keep moving. Once the ferryman is dead, use the virtues as a free health boost. By this point, the timer should be at about 50 seconds. Prepare a charge shot on the revolver. A whole barrage of enemies will spawn, with a swords machine in the middle. Use both the charge shot and an electric rail cannon shot on the swords machine. Then, parry a projectile boost into it. This will send it into its down state, which you can then whiplash to and shotgun swap to kill it quickly. Then, focus on the sentries. You should be able to kill the first of the 2 before they fire a shot. Simply dash to avoid damage. Then kill the remaining enemies. Dodge the Mindflayer and head into the cramped corridor. Charge another cannonball and fire at the Cerberus down the hall. Once again, explode the cannonball with the blue rail cannon. Then kill the 2 street cleaners and leave the hallway ASAP. The Mindflayer will easily kill you if you remain. In this room, head directly to the back wall to kill the sentry. Then you simply dodge the 2 Mindflayers projectiles whilst fighting the 2 sword machines. 2 virtues and 2 malicious faces will then spawn. Select the pump charge shotgun and prepare an overpump to use on the virtues. Whiplash to them, wait until you bump into it, and then fire. Dodge immediately to avoid damage and instantly kill the virtue. Repeat for the other. If you're struggling with the timing, I suggest practicing this technique in the sandbox, because it is the easiest insta-kill for the virtues and is usable in almost every level. Then you simply need to whiplash onto the malicious faces and shotgun swap to kill them quickly. Once done, the idols will be available to break. I suggest using the knuckle blaster to blow them up, because the shockwave can sometimes destroy both idols instantly. Then it is a simple dual Mindflayer fight. Once they are dead, whiplash the blue skull. By this point, the timer should be at 2 minutes 30 seconds. Prepare an overheat blast from the green nail gun. In the next room, 2 Sisyphean Insurrectionists will spawn. Hop over the initial shockwave and use the overheat on one, and then use the electric rail cannon. Make use of the new SRS cannon against them, as it has a unique function. It can stun Insurrectionists. You can also whiplash the cannonball and parry it into the other Insurrectionist to stun them both. Once the area is clear, select the electric rail cannon. Head into the room previously locked behind the blue skull. Whiplash onto one of the 2 virtues and line them up to kill both in a single rail cannon shot. Shotgun swap the malicious faces and then kill the sentry. Don't forget to dash to avoid the sentry's shot. Prepare a cannonball and blue rail cannon combination on one of the 2 Cerberus located ahead. Once one is killed, immediately grapple onto the malicious face and dash to avoid its projectiles. This was the method I found easiest to avoid falling off the platforms. It will also bounce the sentries into the ceiling, killing them instantly. Enter the final room and prepare an attack on the swords machine that spawns here. I like to use a level 3 pump on the green shotgun, followed by a blue rail cannon shot. The swords machine will then fall into its down state, then I shotgun swap to kill it swiftly. Use whatever you prefer, however. I'm sure there are more efficient methods to killing it. This will reduce the amount of boss enemies in this particular room. From here on, simply keep moving. There's not a ton of advice to give. Use coins on the ferryman since they are easily missed. If you are struggling, I suggest playing the cybergrind. A lot of the encounters in P2 are very easy once you have game knowledge from the cybergrind. In the final stage of the fight, moving around is key. The Cerberite will easily kill you if you don't. By this stage, the timer should be at about 5 minutes. Head down to the boss room. Prepare another cannonball plus blue rail cannon shot. Once the flesh Panopticon spawns, use the combination and whiplash onto the summons. The Panopticon is not a real boss in the sense that you do not need to kill it. Sisyphus Prime will eventually preemptively escape the prison. However, you do need to be prepared, as it will spam a huge number of explosive projectiles which also predict your movement. Using the summons as grapple points is great to dodge these. Once the Panopticon is dead, slam up and down in an attempt to heal yourself from the blood explosion. Now it's time to fight Sisyphus Prime. This boss is not too difficult once you understand the moveset, similarly to Minos Prime. He will announce most of his attacks via name. I would suggest practicing the boss instead of using the explanation of the attacks in this guide, as it will teach you how to subconsciously react to the attacks, rather than remembering the notes given from this guide. Also, turn on the game's subtitles. I like to begin the fight with the Cannonball plus Blue Rail Cannon combo, as it deals a large chunk of health whilst being almost instantaneous. You could also have a use a rail coin combination, as Sisyphus Prime simply walks towards V1 at the beginning of the battle.
You can't escape.
Is a combination of punches and kicks which ends in a shockwave. You can avoid the first 3 attacks by sliding in different directions. For the final stomp, jump and dash to avoid the move and shockwave. You can parry the final stomp, however it will still deal damage, so I prefer to prepare an overheat blast prior to firing a single shot from the blue nail gun, as this instantly heats up the green nail gun. You could also use a rail coin combination for much more damage.
Be gone.
Is a simple vertical shockwave which is easily avoided with a dash or a slide. It is also parryable.
Destroy.
Is essentially Gogeta's Stardust Breaker. He stands still and throws a few sparkles at you, which eventually explode. It supposedly can be parried, but I wasn't able to figure out how. I'm not sure if it's the explosion that is parryable or the throw. Either way, you can dodge this with a well-timed dash or grappling to Sisyphus if he is far away. It should be noted, this attack is only used after Sisyphus does an unnamed attack.
This will hurt.
Is an easily avoidable attack. Sisyphus stops moving and primes a self-detonation. It doesn't damage him though. It is the longest pause in action during the fight, which allows you to deal humongous amounts of damage. I like to use a Cannonball plus Electric Rail Cannon combo if available.
Nice try.
Is also a pause in the heat of the moment. It's basically a taunt move, similar to Gabriel's. In Phase 2, Sisyphus becomes relentless with seemingly infinite stamina. However, there are brief pauses in action in which he will simply walk towards you. Use these moments to regain health via shotgun swapping. During Phase 2, it is very important to keep awareness on where Sisyphus is. It is incredibly easy to get comboed by him at this stage. Keep sliding to avoid the majority of his attacks. I like to use coins, the blue rail cannon and the green rocket launcher as they require less accuracy, which is helpful when trying to focus on dodging attacks. Keep an eye on your stamina too, as it's tempting to dash at every opportunity. You should be aiming to beat P-2 by 10 minutes 20 seconds. Time and stars should not be a problem during this level. If you notice you're lacking on star points, coins are a great and easy way to boost the score. Taking damage will also always be the #1 contributor to bad star score, so even if you think you're fine since you haven't died or have lots of HP, try not to just tank damage and instead, avoid it. I hope this guide was helpful. It will be difficult and frustrating to complete since you need to retry the entire level after each attempt, but it is doable. This is easily the most difficult level of the game, so good luck. Thanks for watching.